100% humidity makes me love all of you cosplayers who are rocking your spider web. The trek from the hotel to the convention probably kills you. Just please tell me you have like an AC strapped on your back, IVing into your face the whole time. So this is a Q&A, and I think I've got 45 minutes, an hour? 45 minutes. Oh, yay. Before we start, however, I need your help. Everyone's like, oh. Not that hard, I promise. I have an individual mission for all of you. No. I have, how many fans of Steins Gate are here? That's awesome, the rest of you suck. Well, no. Steins Gate, let me just plug that show real quickly. I love Steins Gate. If you haven't seen it, if you know nothing about it, oh my god, watch it and become a better person. It's an awesome show. I got to write the adaptation along with Patrick Seitz, who you probably know as Germany from Italia. Anyway, the show takes place in a real location in Japan called Akihabara, which is a suburb of Tokyo. They don't call it a suburb, but it's like a prefecture outside of Tokyo. And it's kind of like their Silicon Valley. It's really cool. The show actually took real places from Akihabara throughout and used them as settings. So actually, oh, that place exists. One of my very dearest friends currently lives there and is constantly sending me pictures of like, look, here's the K-book store, look, here's the shrine. And I'm like, oh my god, today is his birthday. And just to be special, I want to send him a crowd of strangers saying happy birthday. So what I'm going to do is on the count of 3, I want all of you to scream as loud as you can, happy birthday, Brandon. His name is Brandon, all right? So, are we ready? Yes! Oh, my phone is not. I talk too much, my phone's like, shut up. Okay. And 1. Wait. That's Excuse me just a moment while I figure this out. If the smartphone gets it smarter than me. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me totally make sure that's okay. You have to get a second take. For safety. I know this is fascinating to all of you. Like, I'm waiting in line to help him with his phone. What did I sign up for?
But I can't.
Awesome, that's totally going to make a thing. Okay, so, I could sit down, but why do I want to sit down? I don't want to sit down. So this is a Q&A. And before we get started, the way this works, you'll just kind of raise your hand when I may pick on you, I may not. Please, if I don't pick on you, don't be offended. It's not because I'm like, ew, I hate you. There's only so many questions I can answer, and it's usually my own fault because I take about 15 minutes to answer one question because I'm a voice actor. I was made for this job. Couple of rules I'd like to set out, though, before we begin the questioning. I like random questions, and I like questions that give me a chance to kind of ramble and riff on a particular theme. So you can ask me what's my favorite this, that, or the other, what's my favorite thing about this show, what's my favorite thing about that, but I won't answer because I hate to say it. I will answer, but I'll give you the same answer for every question. So rethink it, if you want. You can ask it. I'm not going to throw my bottle of water at you. Actually, but also no request in terms of anything that requires me. I'm not going to. Please don't have me call your friends and leave a voicemail. Nothing. Oh my God.
I'm going to round of applause for this lovely gentleman on the floor. My hero. Yay! So I'll have a voice for the rest of the weekend. So, yes, no requests that require me to come to you or you to come to me. This is a fire hazard as it is. So, let's keep things safe. Other than that, pretty much anything goes. I don't care. Now, I don't know that this is not a night to nut, but this is not like a family. This is supposed to be family friendly, but I will occasionally let curse words fly. So, if any of you are offended by that, I do apologize. I will try to keep it down to a minimum. It's hot. I cuss. I can't help it. I can't probably explain my love inside. Here are my last words. Hello? So, who's got a question to start us off? I see you with that Italian shirt, right there, listen to with the glasses. Project, my dear.
If you could be in any of
that's the kind of question I'm talking about, everyone. Because now I have to spend 5 minutes thinking of how I'm going to BS my way through this answer. There's a ton of them. I think probably, though, because it's sort of based in reality and because it happens to be a historical time period that I'm very, very fond of, it's a toss-up between the Victorian London as you experienced in Black Butler. Imagine that. And the medieval Germany of Spice and Wolf. Much more music. That show, that's amazing. So I really love everything about those worlds. I mean, I kind of grew up being a very literary kid. I always had my nose in a book, and a lot of the great Western novels happen to be written by Victorians by some strange fluke. That was just a really strong period of time. There's about 150 years there where a lot of English people were writing really good books. And I usually read all of them countless times, so that was kind of my imaginary world to begin with when I was a kid. So I'm very, very familiar with the fog-enshrouded cobblestone streets and the carriage and the smell of horse dogs and the fish and the home. And the same thing with medieval Germany. I just love the whole idea. I think I love the idea of Lawrence's medieval Germany because he's an itinerant peddler, and at that point in time, most people did not leave their house, or they didn't leave their villages. They spent their lives rather secluded with a very limited sort of perimeter of experience. But the traveling peddlers went all over the world, so they were kind of like the adventurers. They were the equivalent of the doctor in their day. So I would have loved to have been given, because had I grown up in like medieval or Renaissance Europe, I would definitely have been a traveler. I'd have been the guy with itchy feet walking around being like, yes, I'm from yonder. I like being from yonder. I'm good at it. So thank you. Very good question. Next one. I see a hand right there. You have a little bracelet on. You have 2 questions? Yeah. I'll answer half of each one.
Which one are you like the most personality-wise?
Well, see, I don't eat souls, but I do try to be suave. I do wear glasses, and I do keep little notebooks, little dossiers on all my associates, but I'm not rich. Can we, make them a sort of a hybrid, and I'll be, Sebastian? Or Celia? That sounds better. I'll get back to you on that. I like to think I'm probably more like Celia, at least was in high school, because I ran with a crazy group of friends in the drama club, which is a lot like a host for those of you. Right? Oh, we're doing a bake sale and we're all in drag. What? And I was kind of I don't want to say the sane one, because none of us were sane, but I was slightly less crazy. Only slightly less crazy than my friends. And actually, my best friend in high school was this crazy blonde who I was totally in love with, and it was like, oh, yay, and he was constantly getting us in trouble and cooking up schemes that I would constantly have to be like, okay, I guess we're going to vandalize the dressing room. Let me find the paint. So I kind of played that role in our group of friends. I was the one that was the mother, I guess, the mother hen. As far as Sebastian, I think the closest thing that brings me to Sebastian is that when I was a kid, I wanted to be a butler because I thought the idea was really, really cool. I'm like, I just want to be a butler. I want to be the man behind the great man. And then someone's like, well, that's not a thing anymore. I'm like, it is? Okay, well, then I want to be Santa Claus. So I'd have to say Celia. I'd have to say more like Celia. Certainly like him in high school. Without his money or his looks, though. Let me say that. Oh, you had another question. That's right. What's your second question? Yes, like 3 of them. Which one? Like catchphrase. Well, first of all, is that an order? Well, you have to say that's an order. You said, Sebastian, I order you to come on, you have it here. You're like, yeah, do it, come on. CL would be staring daggers at me. Come on. So, alright. Well, after all, I'm simply one hell of a butler. never ever been into that. Wait. What? Oh, you said please. That's not how you talk to Sebastian.
I order you, please.
You order me, please? We're gonna have a long talk. What do we say? No. Well, I do simply one hell of a butler. Okay. Thank you. God, don't make me say it again. Please, you'll get sick of it, I promise. Doctor! Hello.
If you could trade places with any actor, alive or dead, who would it be?
Me. God, I still want my dinner. I love my life. No, I would probably, oh God, I don't know. Someone hot. Matt Smith. I'd be Matt Smith for it. John, no, because then I couldn't make out with myself. If I was John Barrowman, I would never leave the house. I would just stand in front of a mirror all day going, my God, look at me. I can do this for hours. I got to meet John Barrowman once upon a time. It was a really funny story, and I'll have to tell the nation that panel. No, it's actually not a dirty story, but he's actually very charming. Let me just say, for those of you that have never had the chance to meeting John Barrowman, if you ever have the chance, treat yourself, just be warned that Captain Jack is actually a much tamer version of the real John Barrowman. He is a funny man. I see a yellow sleeve there, red vest, yes. You're like, yay. What's going on? What's your question?
If you could hang out with one of the characters you do for a whole day, who would it be?
Oh my God! Without question, Isaac and Miria from Baccano. And that's hard because there's a lot of fun characters. But come on, I mean, if you were with Isaac anywhere, it would become like a homeroom pizza party. Like it's crazy. Let's go rob a train. Let's go push this kid off of this carousel. Oh, let's do that. And like life is a big party. I think. How many Baccano fans do we have in here? How many now? Of those people that just raised your hand, how many of you are also Doctor Who fans? Ooh, wow. You're like, I was going to say that's proof of civilization, but never mind. No. I tend to think of Isaac and Miria as being kind of really dunderheaded Time Lords in a way. Especially by the end, they're kind of prototypical. Isaac and Miria in a TARDIS. Okay, another question. Let's see. What was the back of the review there in front?
How did you get started with foresight? Like, how did you get involved?
I was tricked. True story. Let's see. I've told the story before. Let me kind of try to condense it. I was an actor when I was very young. I kind of grew up on the stage and did a lot of. I was always kind of on. And but when the time came for college and for me to decide what I wanted to do with my life, I decided not to pursue acting because I thought it takes a very courageous person to jump into something unknown like that, and I'm not a very courageous person, so I'm like, let's flip a coin. Oh look, not acting, let's do this. So I had a very different career path for a long time. In my early 20s I actually worked in marketing, which I hated because I wasn't very good at it. It paid the bills, but it wasn't very fulfilling. I mean, that's not to say that marketing is a bad job, it just wasn't a good one for me. And but then I was doing my thing. I hadn't acted in like 10 years. At all in 10 years, when a friend of mine that happens to work at Funimation, Chris Bevins, was like, we were fellow comic book nerds together. I'd known him through mutual friends, and we're like, oh God, Batman, Iron Man, yay, Batman. And he spent many evenings sleeping on my couch. So we were good friends. I'd known him for a couple of years, and he said, hey, I'm working on a show called Samurai 7. And I'm having trouble casting this one part, and I just need some people to come in. I'd love if you would come and read for me on this part, just to audition. I know you haven't really done this kind of acting before, but you have an acting background, and it's been a while. Why don't you give it a shot? I'm like, oh my God, no. Because the idea terrified me. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to make a complete ass of myself. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I backed off of it, and I said, oh, thank you, but no, thank you. And he was like, oh, okay, well, you suck, but never mind. Following day, he called me again. Hey, so I'm working on this show. And we proceeded to have the exact same conversation as though the prior day's conversation had not occurred. And I was like, what? And this went on for 2 weeks. Each time he got scarier and scarier and scarier until, hey, I'm working on a show became, you're coming in if I have to kill you. If I have to kill you, resurrect you from the dead, and get your voice in this damn data bank, you're doing it. So I came in reluctantly because I was afraid for my kneecaps. And it was like a 4-hour-long audition. I had no idea how this worked. I'd never been in a booth for all my experience on stage. So I walked in and we're actually matching animation, and I'm looking at a dub script, which is an unusual kind of script if you're used to working with stage plays and things like that. It's nothing like a book. It is very different, and there's all sorts of terms. You're like, what the hell does that mean? What does CTREAC mean? Oh, clenched teeth react? Like, weird. And you have to, like, you have to sort of all this stuff, and then you'd also, like, match the animation, and we're playing with his voice, his character he had me in mind for. And in 4 hours we were done, and I'm thinking, I have sucked. Thank God he will leave me alone now. So I get out of the booth, and he has me sign some, what I think are non-disclosure agreements. There's some stuff that's not been released yet, so they always make you sign what are called NDAs. And as I'm signing, I'm not reading them very closely, my first mistake. I glibly said to him, how the hell do you get people to get anything done in the studio? It takes you 4 hours to audition every single person. He's like, no, it doesn't. You're like, the first 10 minutes of your audition, we've actually just recorded the first 6 episodes, and you've just signed a contract, so be back here next Sunday, you're an actor now. So that is how I became an actor. And then from then on, I got more work with Funimation, and I started directing for them as well, and then writing, and so yeah, that's how I was picked into it. True story. Wow. Thank you, Bevins. Chris Bevins, a beautiful, beautiful human being, is responsible for unleashing me upon the world. It's his fault, not me. I see you. You're like pointing to someone. You, whoever you're pointing at. Huh? Oh, what's this? Feather eye questions? And a partridge in a pear tree. What? I really I got through the nun scene, let me just say that. Enjoyed it. It was a fun day. It was a fun day, but I had to be professional, so I'm like, all right, I'm doing this to a nun. All right, Ian, here we go. You're pointing. Oh, and you got another question as well? Oh, darling, I'm sorry, I'm spoken for. She's like, no. She's like, no. Thanks, Mom. What's wrong with me? That's adorable. You just want me to be like your stepdad. That's weird. I'm not at all creepy. I love you. You're adorable. Captain Jack, I gotta ask you a question.
Why aren't you the Man of Steel? Why did they cast you for that?
Oh, no. Where were you 2 years ago? Should I be the Man of Steel? True story, I went... This happened, probably, this is like my ego is not big enough. I walked into a store to get some clothes the other day at this outlet mall near my house. I'm like, oh, I want this shirt, because I'd like to buy some new clothes before I go traveling. And I walked in, and the woman looked at me, and she was like, oh my God, you look like the guy that played Superman. I'm like, really? Like, I don't know how to take that compliment. Looked at me like, that's right, I am. And she was like, okay, never mind, illusion gone. Thank you. I would love to be Man of Steel. I would much prefer to be Thor. I don't need Superman, don't get me wrong, but Thor and me go way back. Way back. I see a set of blue ears in the very back of the room. Yes, you just pointed to yourself. What's it like working with the other who? Human Optimus cast. Oh, dick. No, it's really fun. Understand when it's something a lot of people don't know, but when we record these things, we don't get to work with each other. We record all of our stuff independently because for timing reasons, because we're working with existing animation, it is impossible to get 5 or 6 people in a room. First of all, there's not enough room for all of us. Could you imagine like me and bringing all of us like in front of a microphone like this? It'd be really uncomfortable and we did that. But even if there was room, because it's not prelay, which is when they do the voice first and then animate around it. We're working with existing animation on stuff like Full Metal, so that we have to actually match flaps. And to have 5 people in a room all trying to match timing is almost impossible, so it's easier to just do it one at a time. Luckily, when it came to doing Full Metal Alchemist, I was usually the last one to record, because a lot of people in that show had moved out to LA, and so when Mike McFarlane, the show's director, brought them back in, he would get them in first, just for timing reasons, and then I would come in afterwards. So I had a lot of really wonderful performances to work off of in the booth, because they had already laid down track. True story, the first time I laid down track as Scar in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now understand, the first Full Metal Alchemist, the original anime, I was a huge fan of, but that wrapped before I was a voice actor, so I didn't get to be part of it. However, I was like Soldier A or something, and some guy that like says freeze when he gets shot and dies immediately in Conqueror of Shambhala. And I thought, oh my god, yay! And that was a red letter day for me as a voice actor. I got it in, oh my god! So 5-6 years later, Mike McFarlane was like, so Damian Clark can't reprise the role for a number of reasons, and why don't you do the crack playing Star in this version? I'm like, which is the idea. I'm a huge fanboy of that show. I love it. I think it's absolutely remarkable. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And we talked a lot about it. Mike we had this technique to get the voice where he would hold me down and punch me repeatedly in the throat. And but my very first line as Scar, as I recall it, is me in the booth saying, "Foolish alchemists who turn their backs on the ways of God shall be punished." Followed by, which happened between takes. Every time, like the first 2 weeks recording Scar, I'm like, and Mike's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. So that was what it was like working with that. And Mike is a joy to work with. Mike is one of my dearest friends. I think he's a remarkable human being, and he's a wonderful director, one of the most talented directors I've ever worked with. And so yeah, I have a lot of good memories from that show. Thank you. Yes, you keep calm and what does it say? Oh, keep calm on the doctor. Fair enough, fair enough. I like this.
So, speaking of Full Metal Alchemist, there's a 5-minute clip that came with the OVA, and there's one with you for Bradley, and you guys are saying your really long name.
Oh God.
How was that done?
Very carefully. That was like they had the script, and I just had to like do the whole. I don't even remember all of them. There's only like 35 names or something. I just remember that it ends with zippy zappy angel eyes. Like blah 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 zippy zappy angel eyes, and then they speed us up, so we're not actually talking that fast. Because no one can talk that fast. So magic, magic. Audio. You're holding up a Sebastian plushie.
I order you to speak in Sebastian question the rest of the Q&A.
Oh God, you stop. It happened last year, didn't it? Were you the one that last year? Oh, God. Okay, I love doing this voice. I was at a convention about a year ago, and I just decided to start doing my British voice, because I tend to fall into it rather easily. And it was the day after the concert, everyone had gone home, and the hotel had gone back to a state we like to call normal. And but I wasn't really ready to go back to normal yet, so I thought I'm going to talk like this the rest of the day and just see if it works on everyday people and not just congoers, who are my favourite people in the world, precisely because this voice works on them. Proof, however, that you can take anything in a British voice and you instantly go up to 5 points on a hot scale. Because, without the British voice, I'm maybe a 5 or a 6 with my slow with no lighting, but with the British, I'm like, 10. I don't care. Steal my car, burn my house out, I don't care, just say my name. So I walked up to the concierge desk in this hotel and I started just asking questions in this voice, and she just goes, no, what is that? Stop. What is that coming out of your mouth? What are you talking about? It's the accent. There's all people off. I'm really, really sorry. You haven't got the same. She says, no, it's just no. Oh my God, Deborah, come here. Deborah. Say something. I'm like, hello, Deborah, my name's Michael. She's like, no. See, if you were my boyfriend and you talk like that to anybody else, we would have problems. And I'm thinking, I am never going to stop doing this voice. All right. You have a question there. Wild and young. You have 2? Yes. Oh, God. Oh, yes. Go ahead, Deborah. I have 18 questions.
Do you watch all the anime that you
Most of them. Sometimes you turn around so quickly that you don't have a chance to watch all of them, but most of them, and the really big ones, especially if I've played like a main character or something, I'll watch it because I feel you have to really sort of hone your technique. So yes.
And
influential anime you've seen that you said?
The most influential that I've been in? Oh my god. That's a question. I don't know that I've been in one that's been terribly influential, as others. I think the single most influential anime that I had nothing to do with, except as a fanboy, it's one of my favorites, and this will get cheers, I'm sure, is Cowboy Bebop. And let me tell you, I having met and I'm very good friends now with people that worked on that show, they're all incredibly talented. That show was, for anybody in the business will tell you this, that show was the beginning of our idea that a dub could be art, that a dub could be real and good and valid on its own terms. Cowboy Bebop sort of started that all. There were many great things before, of course, but when Cowboy Bebop came along and just broke through that glass ceiling, so to speak, and everyone was like, oh my god, dubs are amazing. Oh my god. Yeah, so good stuff. I think the most influential show I've happened to be in is probably Steins;Gate, but because it's hugely popular, I mean, not here, kidding, but it's apparently cast a really, really long shadow in the industry. The show itself, before it even came over here, like it just had a huge thing. My friend who you all just said happy birthday to lives in the town where it's set. The town has gone crazy with Steins;Gate stuff. There's pictures of the characters everywhere, in every store. It's great, it's insane. So it's hugely popular, so that's really fun to see. Something like that. Let's see. You were waving like you wanted to fly off.
I love you. Tomato box Harry.
Do you want me to propose? You want me to say, like, so do you want me to propose marriage to the tomato box fairy? But it's France. He doesn't really propose like most people propose. He's not really romantic about it. So tomato box fairy. Listen, we should just do this thing because I know you think I'm hot. I'm French. Everyone thinks I'm hot. So marry me, trust me. You want it. You want it. Okay, you're welcome. You there, young woman.
So far, with all your voice acting, what's your favorite one?
You weren't here in the beginning, were you?
Oh!
No, don't worry. Let me answer this question because I do like it. I have a real problem personally with the favorites game because my mind is, well, let me explain to you. I'm a little psychotic. When I play the character, they tend to stay with me. They become sort of permanently lodged in my brain, like an aneurysm, and they just sort of crop up all the time in the most unsuspecting places in public. I'll fall into Inaru's voice, or I'll suddenly start doing Isaac, or I'll start doing this voice or something. But they just never quite go away. And they become sort of a permanent feature of who I am. So there's always like about 18, 19 people up in here sort of fighting it out for who gets to say what. It's like a game of hungry, hungry hippos. All fighting for pieces of my brain. So if I were to say, oh, my favorite character is this one, I would have to choose it at random, and I promise you, when I went back to my hotel room later tonight and was alone, I'd have 18 other characters going, you son of a bitch. Why didn't you pick up? And they would all gang up on me, because like, oh, no, we're all the unchosen. So that's why I have to be very, very careful. Plus, I like to be very zen about it. I don't believe in favorites. I believe in enjoying it, all of it, and not like, I don't like having a ranking system, because I think it just puts too much pressure on the experience to deliver. And I much prefer to just go with the flow. So my favorite is all of them. I've never not had a great time recording any show, even if it's just Yesturday. Breathe! Because what I need to do is enormous fun. I mean, it's just so much fun that every day, and my job is my favourite thing in the world to do at home. So it's a good question. So I'm glad you asked it. So now I can kind of explain my philosophy. So good question, Mark. Good question. Oh, what do you want?
Okay, two things too. Why are you not the next Doctor?
God, I don't know. Everyone, I'm Man of Steel. I would love. Oh my God, are you kidding me? If I could be the next Doctor, I would be the next Doctor. But the next Doctor, I don't know that I want to be the next Doctor though. I enjoy watching the show too much. I'm like,
You can be bigger.
oh my God. Yeah, I suspect it would be. But yeah, no, I love the Doctor. I don't know. Are you kidding? I don't know what my costume would be. Someone needs to come up with my costume. It needs to be really crazy and loud and ostentatious. And I'm not a ginger. The next Doctor should be a ginger. By God. Ginger's Day. So, your second question. You wanted to give me something. What is it?
Our first time here was last year.
Mm. Yes, I remember.
You made such an amazing, experience for us. Especially when they asked you about how you became master, and you said that, you said that luck favors the humble. And
Can I say that?
Yeah. And I want to be a singer too, so for me, that kind of helps me out, and it was just really inspirational. So I'm a really big Dr. Who fan, same as her.
Oh yeah, we got him. Yay! Oh, I've got writing on here. Wait, it's like Moonstone. I have to hold it in the right hand. Oh, love you, love you, love you. Thank you. Okay, can I just say something? This is very special because my house is like buckling under the weight of all the Doctor Who stuff. I do not have this. I do not have a sonic. I have like 500 sonic screwdrivers, but I don't have the keychain.
I saw it. I work at Hot Topic, and I have you.
Thank you.
Which one would be his favorite one? I was like, this one, maybe?
I like it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, you're very sweet. I'm glad you could come back. Round of applause to the second year seniors. I have 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes, and then we have a lightning round. So everyone gets one, not everyone, but those that I pick has one question, and it has to be quick, so I can get through as many as possible. You. Lightning round.
What's going to happen with this Hollywood Beautiful World? Good introduction.
I can neither confirm nor deny. You.
Okay.
Lightning round, you as you will.
Your favorite anime growing up?
Captain Harlock, Star Blazers, Voltron. You.
I command you, Sebastian. Say yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord. You level how to stress.
Can you laugh like France?
I can, that's how I got the job. You. Yes, really quickly. You, right next to her on the floor, the blonde gentleman sitting there with the blue thing.
Oh, sorry. At the beginning of the show, you started out with something of a little bit higher voice, and as you've progressively gotten lower and lower as you've warmed up into your casting voice and other things. Now,
2 more hours.
how have you learned to do this? How have you learned to extend downwards? How have you learned to make your voice this sort of honey sort of thing that everyone wants to hear? And do you teach it?
I don't know, and not yet. I don't know. I have very strange vocal cords. I've always had very strange vocal cords, so they have kind of a weird range. And the longer I talk, the deeper I get. I was like, hey everyone. The humidity also helps because it's very humid in this state. Like 100% is like, oh, I'm in the shower. Nope, I'm outside. So the humidity helps kind of lubricate the vocal cords, but I can also go really high sometimes too. It's kind of strange. I don't know. I'm all over the map. I've always been that way. I do not teach it, but perhaps I should consider. Thank you for your question. I see a grill!
They say well.
Craziest experience time.
Craziest experience with a fan signing a corset while they farted. You there, my dear. Yes, you have like yes, you. Yes, I'm not you with that person there. You, yes, the other you.
How would you feel if someone called you Sam and like you can?
I feel like this was a good purchase. Doctor.
Movie about your life, who do you want to play you?
Me. No, I don't know. Henry Cavill. Kind of hot. You, yes.
Who was your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration? My grandmother, may she rest in peace. You in the purple.
What's like been the toughest voice you did?
toughest voice I've done was probably Age from Heroic Age, because he has to sound 17, and I do not sound 17. But a really, like, sprightly 17, so he's, like, way up there. He's always laughing and very high energy, and it's very hard to do what we call those trick voices, when you also have to scream and yell a lot of them. And I can no longer do the voice, except under very, very particular circumstances, like if I'm very drunk. So definitely Age, definitely Age. You that's being pointed at over there with cat paws in the ears, or the, well, I don't know, you've got fur on.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color? I came with a favorite cream. I don't know, purple. I like purple. You with the white wig.
Have you ever given any thought to Sebastian's previous masters?
Yes, I have. I don't know. One of them should have been a doctor. You. Yes, you. That's you, yes.
How do you feel about a stand?
I don't know. I love you guys. You guys, this is, okay, think about this. I'm in this room and I have to say certain things. People scream and like call me sexy pants. You have no idea how much damage this is undoing. All of you. No, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You're so enthusiastic, and I'm a nerd. I'm right there with you. We're in the same boat. It feels weird that I'm up here. I feel like I should be out with you going, sorry. So this is a great experience for me, and I love fans. I love fans. They're really, really great. I see someone with a flag. Yes, you.
What's your thought on Natalia?
What? Say again?
What's your thought on Natalia?
It's crazy, manic, and I've probably never had more fun working on a show with that many people. Like, it's insane. It's an insane property, and I'm enormously... And you just proved my point. Graham.
Would you be doing France for season 5 with Natalia?
If they ask me to, yes. Neither confirm nor deny, working on the deny. I have time for 2 questions. 2 questions. So someone I have not asked yet, yeah, my lord, you had a question. Frequently. More frequently don't understand what I'm saying. It's very strange, it's hard to be British while asking for things like Whopper. What's that? Yes. Not McDonald's, but I've been to like a Jack in the Box and done this in the drive-thru. He's usually part of 4 or 5 other characters. I pretend to all be in the car together, ordering over each other at times, and he's trying to be the voice of reason. So you have friends going, does anyone say why here? And they're like, number 5, who do you say? But like, they can't all hear us at the same time. Please shut up. And then turn around and have them go, right, last question, oh God, I hate this part. Who's got a little good one? You here, madam. My favorite accent? Probably the Sebastian one. And I'll give you a kind of a longer answer, and this is a good way to wrap it up. The reason the British accent comes so easily to me and why I love it so much is because I actually had a very, very debilitating speech impediment when I was young. It was so paralyzing that I didn't speak at all, or practically didn't speak at all for until I was about 8 or 9. And only then, because I had an occupational therapist for about several years. And true story, her name was Mrs. Britt. She was like 1,000,000 years old. She was like hewn from a rock with like this nice big iron gray bun of hair that accounted for like a full 2 feet of her height. And she had like these glasses on, and she'd get around, and she was my speech therapist. So whenever I do that accent, because it's very easy for me to do, because I kind of learned how to talk in that accent, and it's kind of a love letter to Mrs. Britt, a lovely, little crazy old woman who put marbles in my mouth and made me say all kinds of things. So thank you all for coming. You have been amazing. My darling friend in Japan, happy birthday. You be safe. I will be around. Feel free to stop me and, get a picture or whatever. If you want to hug, that's cool too. Please do not run at me for a hug. That's it. Oh, not now because I have to leave. I've got to go. So I love you.